I've been obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster for years, and I guess if you're watching this, you probably have too. When I was a kid, the idea that this dinosaur-type creature could be living in Loch Ness was absolutely magical to me. I couldn't get enough of it. And I decided that I wanted to do a podcast episode all about the Loch Ness Monster. The link to that episode will be in the description of this video. But in order to really get to grips with the Loch Ness Monster, I decided that it was time for me to go to Inverness and go and see Loch Ness for myself. So I hopped on a train from Canterbury to Gatwick Airport, got an airplane from Gatwick Airport to Inverness Airport, and when I got to Inverness, I rented a car, drove the length of Loch Ness to the tiny village of Fort Augustus, where I was determined that it was going to be me who was going to solve the centuries-old mystery of the Loch Ness Monster. Good morning from Loch Ness. That is actual Loch Ness outside my window. I don't even have to go outside the door. Nessie can just come to me. She could just present herself in between those trees, flop up onto that grass, and I'd be happy. Box ticked. Thousands of year old mystery solved. At least that's how it all pans out in my head. But I'm going to show you around. I'm currently staying in a place called Fort Augustus, and it is incredible. I'm staying in an old monastery. And as you can see, a very important part of any old monastery is the old monastery graveyard. But I'll take you for a closer look at that later. I don't think I realised how fancy this place was going to be. Hello there, it's me. It's my face. So as I was saying, I don't think I realised how fancy this place was going to be. I booked it and then arrived and was blown away by how fantastic it is. So the place that I'm staying in was originally a fort, and then it was turned into a monastery, and now it's turned into holiday apartments, and it is scandalously cool. Hang on, I'm going to give you a quick tour before we go any further on our Loch Ness adventure. So there was this delightful Scottish man that showed me around, and we got to this door, this really unassuming door in this monastery. Now the monastery itself is beyond majestic, and I will show you how majestic it is later. But for now, I'm just going to show you the apartment. I walked in, and this was the first room that I saw. So this is my sitting room. You've got a little kitchen, dining table, sofas, and then this amazing feature window with views straight out onto Loch Ness. I mean, come on. What did I do to deserve this in life? You know, what did I do? So that was the sitting room, and I was completely blown away by it. You can see lovely views of the hills up there, and you can see more lovely views of the hills there. And then he led me to my bedroom, which sounds a lot sexier than it was. And my bedroom has what I think are original bits from the monastery, which is slightly alarming. This is my bedroom. This is my little bed. It's very, very comfy, a really comfortable bed. And this is my view outside onto big old chessboard. And there are a nest of bats. I don't know, is it a colony of bats? Is that what you call them? That were flitting around outside this window last night. I'm going to try and film them later because there were so many of them. There must be like a nest or a colony or whatever you call it, like somewhere in this corner of the building. The only thing was that I didn't sleep last night. And the reason that I didn't sleep was not the fact that this place is apparently teeming with ghosts, as the caretaker told me, but it was this picture of all these monks having a whale of a time. But is it not the most disturbing picture you've ever seen? And it's right at eye height when you're in bed. Like I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. And my camera's now trying to like zoom in on their little faces, and it's making me really unhappy. I can't take it down. I'm going to have to find some way to cover it, I think, because it's really freaky. The apartment also has the added bonus of having these creepy little rooms that I can't get into. So can't get into this. Don't know how to, don't have a key for it, so can't get into it. And there is a matching one here that I also can't get into. Now, presumably they are just normal little storage spaces, but in my head, that's where Dear David lives, you know? I apologize for the angle. I'm out of practice with vlogging. It's been a while, okay? So this is where I'm at. In this big old monastery. I am going to go to a place today called Drumnadrickid. Did you see me having a little sneaky look there because I have it written down beside me? Now in Drumnadrickid there are actually 2 Loch Ness Monster centres. So one of them is like a Loch Ness information centre, and the other one I think is specifically about the Loch Ness Monster. So I'm going to try and do the 2 of them today, and also do a castle called Urquhart. I can't figure out how you pronounce it, but I'm going to go and see that castle which overlooks the loch too. And look, I'm just going to say it. If Nessie wants to make an appearance, I'm not opposed to it, okay? I'm not opposed to it. So I'm going to go, I'm going to show you the monastery on the way down and show you what it looks like. It's going to blow your mind. And then we'll make our way to the Loch Ness Visitor Centre. Well, hi there. I'm on my way to my car and I'm going to bring you through the monastery. I mean, look, you can't really see it properly in this light, but like, look at these doors. I sort of want to live here, and you're going to see exactly why in a second. I mean, look at this place. It's just incredible. I kind of hope there's nobody in this little club lounge bit, so I'm going to have a look and see. Oh, so there's nobody in here. This is called the club lounge. And it's got a billiards table and a big, is it a snooker or pool table? I don't know the difference between them, or whether they're the same, or whether that's a stupid thing to say. This is just a place where you can come and like hang out and stuff. Big original windows going on. I mean, it's just amazing. And this was the old refectory for the monastery. So the refectory is where the monks would have eaten. They would have come in here, they would have eaten, and then on that pulpit there, while they were eating, somebody would have been reading the scriptures. And yeah, they were meant to like eat in silence, etc., etc. I mean, it's just so cool. Like, I kind of do want to live here. Can I go up there? Like, I presume that I can. Oh well, she's doing it anyway. So this would be my point of view if I was a big important man in the church who read Bible stories while everyone was eating. This is me if I was an even more important man in the church, watching a man reading Bible stories while loads of other men were eating. This whole bit is one big square. So there's the chess set that I showed you earlier from my bedroom. And it's just one big square all around. And within that square, there's like different wings, I suppose, of the monastery and different apartments. It's so quiet. Like, it's amazing. And I think I need to go through this door here in order to get outside again. So I'll see you outside. What's really interesting about this place for me is that it reminds me of being back in secondary school. I went to a Catholic convent secondary school, and it was a functioning convent for the entire time that I was there. Like, there were still nuns there and stuff. And so many of the corridors, and that even the tiling here reminds me of being back in secondary school. And I don't know if that's gonna like trigger some sort of PTSD. Who wants to be reminded of their teenage years? Not fucking me, that's who. So that window there is where I am. That is my window. And this is the back of the monastery, the bit that faces out onto Loch Ness. I'm going to take you down and show you Loch Ness up close and personal. So there it is in all its glory, and Loch Ness is much bigger than I imagined. I don't think I really knew what to expect from it, but I guess I just didn't think it was going to be that big. It took me just over an hour to drive from Inverness to Fort Augustus, which is essentially the length of Loch Ness. And it was the most beautiful drive you could possibly imagine. A lot of the journey was single track roads. There was baby Highland cows everywhere. There was lambs everywhere. It was a dream. I think part of the reason why I wanted to come to Loch Ness was because it was one of the first cryptid mysteries that really captured my imagination when I was a child. Like when I was a kid, I was so obsessed with the idea of Loch Ness. The fact that it's this enormous lake. I mean, I didn't even comprehend how big it was until actually being here. Like, it took me nearly an hour to drive the length of the lake. And I know in other places of the world there are lakes that are like double the size, triple the size. But for me, it just feels like it's so enormous. And there's more, even though it's not the biggest lake in the UK by kind of area, there's more water in it than all of the lakes in the UK put together. That's wild. Like, how crazy is that? And the water is also black. So you can't see anything in it. And it's because of all the peat. Because it rains so much here in Scotland. The peat runs off the hills and into the water, making the water black. So really, it's the perfect place for a monster to hide, right? You're a big prehistoric dinosaur looking thing. You're going to hide in crystal clear waters? No, because everyone's going to be looking at you. You're going to hide in a big peaty lake? Abso-fucking-lutely. I think part of the reason why I love the Loch Ness Monster too is, you know, I feel like we have a connection. You know, I resonate with her. She's socially awkward, like me. Bit of a loner, like me. Probably happy in her own company, like me. Do I feel like we'd get along? Yeah, probably. And I'm recognising that she's socially awkward and probably doesn't want to be found and yada yada yada. Am I ignoring her boundaries? Absolutely. Do I feel bad about it? A little bit. A little bit. But you know, I'm determined that we'll be friends. Imagine the cruel irony if I'm sitting here vlogging, filming myself, and Nessie looms up out of the water in all of her glory. A full vision of wonder. Gives me the middle fin on the way down, and I miss it because I'm too busy vlogging myself. The epitome of vanity. Anyway, I'm going to show you the graveyard now. Are you the Loch Ness Monster? So this is the old monk's graveyard. And if you've never been in a monastery before, like, this is really common. They had their own private graveyards where the monks, priests, abbots, whoever would be buried. So the big old Celtic cross in the middle was, I think, from the first abbot that was ever buried here. And then, of course, over the years there were lots of different monks that were buried here. And I think boys who came to school here. Look at that rabbit's little white face. What a cutie. So I've just arrived at the Loch Ness Centre and Exhibition. I don't know if that's even on camera, but sure, look, we're doing it anyway. What appears to have happened in this small town is that a couple of the hotels have created like little centres all about Loch Ness and the Loch Ness Monster, which I actually think is really clever. What a good way to make money. So anyway, I'm going to go in. Hang on, I'm going to spin it around. This is where I'm going. I'm going to go in for the little exhibition. Can't wait. Oh. Today you must be a naturalist and detective, judge and jury. Let me tell you, I'm one of those things. I don't make good decisions and I'm not good at deciphering information. So it was like $8.95 to get in here. And we shall see. I will keep you updated. So, oh, just banged off the glass. So this guy hoaxed pretty much everybody. He had like a hippo foot ashtray, and he casted it and then said it was, you know, from some unknown creature in Loch Ness. I just don't really understand what the gain is to make those kind of hoaxing claims, you know? Is it to just see who you can fool? I'm not sure. I'm digging this outfit though. Are these the ones that make you really heavy? Again, the first underwater marathon, I mean, I wouldn't do one above water, never mind doing one underwater. So it's the actual suit he wore, and he walked the length of the Loch Ness underwater. If anyone was going to find the Loch Ness Monster, it was that guy.
Autumn, 1933. Day and night, volunteer crews ranged over the depths aboard the John Murray. They ran silent gatherboards lowered at the stern, gripped the water, as the wind pivoted the fore.
So I've just finished in the museum-y bit. You know what? It's fine. The thing is, I always think with these little local museums is that actually it is helping the local community. You know what I mean? They rely on tourism. So I enjoyed it. They had lots of great information about different sightings and trying to debunk different things and whatever. And it is amazing when you see all the pictures. Like, it's amazing how much natural stuff in the lake causes people to think it's a monster. Now this morning, right, I'm really exposing myself here, but this morning when I was bopping around getting ready, I literally looked out onto the lake and I saw this like long black thing like gliding through the water, and I literally was like scrabbling for the camera. I was like, this is it. I've actually solved the mystery. I think this is actually a testament to my massive ego, but I was like, that's it, I've solved the mystery. Anyway, and then I looked again, and the mystery that I solved was a mother duck and her little baby ducks all in a line, which is very cute, but absolutely not the same thing. I'm about to go into somewhere called Nessie Land. I mean, the Google reviews are not good. One of the Google reviews is like, I paid £10 to walk around a shed that smells damp. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Did you know also that there is like a mirage effect on Loch Ness? For whatever reason, whatever scientific reason. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, okay? I know that shocks a lot of people. But anyway, the mirage effect causes stuff on the lake to look bigger than they actually are. So like ducks with their babies in a line will actually look like the Loch Ness Monster. Am I trying to make myself feel better? Yes. There she is. I found her. I found her, ladies and gentlemen. I actually don't know how to get in. Like, do I go up here? I'm trying to figure out how to get into this place, and I'm not entirely sure how to do it. Welcome to Nessie Land. Nessie Land today. Oh my god, this is chaos. This is chaos. Like, okay, so loads of information, and I have read this information, so I do. Listen, I've seen it elsewhere, so I'm not going to spend ages. You know, the Google reviews weren't wrong about the smell of damp. It's Smells a bit like wet dog in here, to be honest. The man told me on the way in that I was, Hi there. The man told me on the way in that I was too old to play with the stuff.
This cave is located close to Urquhart Castle, and it is also believed that this cave is located close to Edward's Deep, which is the deepest known part of Loch Ness, at between 600 and 800 feet.
Oh,
It is also believed that parts of this cave system extend to the south shore of Loch Ness, where it is believed to exit near an unknown promontory. It is believed that this area is surrounded by heavily forested woodland, and this is a reason that Nessie is rarely seen in a landscape situation. It is also a reason that many sightings have been in the vicinity of Urquhart Castle. We hope you enjoy your visit to Nessie Land today.
I mean, if you had kids, this would be great. Like, for sure. But it definitely... I mean, that's just a dinosaur toy. Oh, God.
It is believed that this cave is located close to Urquhart.
They're modern pictures.
Also believed that this
Film until he developed his holiday snaps.
I've just walked into a
His
little cinema.
photograph reinforced his conviction that there is something strange in Loch Ness.
Like it's an actual cinema.
He tells in a letter that his family
What the
experienced
heck?
strange waves crashing onto the beach just before the snap was taken. Photographic experts have concluded from an examination of his negatives that there was a large animate object in the loch.
I don't know what's going on. I'm also the only person in here, which is scary in itself. So I just got a feast, right? As in the chocolate ice cream, a feast. Haven't had one in a very long time. Was very glad, very, very happy with my decision. Until I got to the chocolatey bit in the middle. Someone please explain to me why this chocolatey bit is so small. I've not taken a bite out of that. That chocolatey bit in the middle used to be like twice that size. What's going on? This is the real mystery of Loch Ness. Why this feast has the tiniest chocolatey bit in the middle. I'm going to see, can I like eat around it and just get to the chocolatey bit without breaking it, and then I will report back. It's tiny. Like when I put it here, it looks really big. It's tiny. It's the tiniest bit of chocolate I've ever seen. Okay. That's not true, is it? I'm horrified. I'm outraged. So I have done my 2 tours of all of the information about the Loch Ness Monster that I could possibly want or need. And I must say, were they worth it? Yeah, I'm going to say yeah, sure. I am an educated queen, okay? I know all there is to know about the Loch Ness Monster. I know those pitfalls. I know what people think the Loch Ness Monster is. But I can tell you she's real, okay? I feel it. I feel it in my bones that she's real. Well, the actual, like, all jokes aside, the interesting thing about those 2 exhibits is that the people of the Highlands have believed there was something in the loch for centuries. And of course it goes back to, like, St. Columba, I think, who, you know, expelled a creature from the loch. But in kind of everyday general life, aside from being like mythological creatures or this big plesiosaur or whatever people think the Loch Ness Monster is, the people of the Highlands believed there was some mystery giant fish living in Loch Ness. And of course there is There's a lot of people who believe that actually what is in Loch Ness is sturgeons who have travelled up to Loch Ness kind of looking for a mate, and they're huge, they're enormous. So I'm going to go to a place called Urquhart Castle. The reason I'm going there is because it is supposed to be like a hotspot for Loch Ness Monster sightings, and there have been a couple of very famous sightings at Urquhart Castle, and I'm going to go. We're going to have a sighting. I feel it. I feel it in my waters. We're going to see her. We're going to see her today. So, I have just arrived at Urquhart Castle. They have this cool little like video thing all about the history of the castle, which was amazing. And they're flying a pride flag. Props to them, flying a pride flag. It's no wonder Nessie's always seen here. Right, let's go down closer to it. I don't want this to turn into like a history vlog, because who needs that? Gross. That's a joke for all my history nerds out there. But is that one of those thingies for like flinging boulders at castles? It is, isn't it? I build them in Age of Empires. It's pretty much how I win every single campaign. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Hang on, I probably should just go and check. I need to stop getting distracted and start looking for Nessie. She could be making appearances all over the place right now, and I'm busy looking at things for flinging rocks at castles, you know? I was right. I knew that playing Age of Empires was good for something. God, it's really big. This is Urquhart Castle, and it is majestic. It is a place where lots of Nessie sightings have taken place, and you can see why. There's this vast expanse of a view of the lake. And it also has ties to St. Columba. So St. Columba was the first person to have a recorded incident with the Loch Ness Monster. The story goes that the people of the area were being plagued by this creature that was emerging from the lake and carrying off villagers into the water. Columba arrived, and with his divine power from God, he went head to head with the beast. The beast was like, whoa, this guy means business, and decided to retreat back to hell or wherever it came from. St. Columba also rocked up to this castle when one of the local leaders was sick and told him great stories about God and Christianity. And the moral of this story is that if you're doing research about the Loch Ness Monster, you just can't escape St. Columba. Not a single Loch Ness Monster sighting. I thought we had a connection, you know. I thought that she understood me. Clearly not. So she's, you know, playing hard to get. We'll get her. We'll get her eventually. We're just going to have to try some new tactics, I think. From the shore. Trying to spot her from the shore. It's not working. As I was having no luck spotting Nessie from land, I decided I was going to take a little bit of a break from Nessie hunting. Maybe she might change her mind. Maybe if I played hard to get, she might make an appearance. And in that break, I decided to pay a little visit to Buleskin House. Buleskin House was once the home of Aleister Crowley. Crowley was a really interesting man, and he was known, among other things, as the Great Beast 666 and the wickedest man in the world. Subtle. He was a famous and very controversial occultist. He wrote widely, founded his own religious order, and designed a set of tarot cards that are still used today. He was defiantly unconventional in every respect, and he lived his life according to his own dictum, which was, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law." He was a pretty interesting man, and Buleskin House has become this sort of pilgrimage for people who are interested in the occult. It's also wrongly gained a reputation, I think, for being a place that is full of demons and terribly haunted, and if you go there, awful things will happen. As you can see, it was a pretty nice and peaceful place. So I have just arrived back from Buleskin House. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was so cool. I think because, so the guy who is currently refurbing it is an expert on the esoteric. I'll be doing a podcast episode about Aleister Crowley So I'm not going to talk loads about it in detail in this vlog. I just thought it was a cool little stop off point to go to. So worth it. So worth it. And if you want to go, book a tour with them and they'll bring you up and give you all the information. And if you ever had questions about Aleister Crowley, this is the man to answer them. But yeah, watch this space. I'm not done with Aleister Crowley just yet, so I'm not going to go on about it. My plan for today is I'm going to walk into Fort Augustus. Oh, when I say walk in, I could probably jump and I'd be in the village. I'm going to walk into Fort Augustus. I'm going to have some lunch. And then I have to write this week's episode because I actually still haven't done that yet. So I should probably do that. I'm going to do that. Let's do that. As I said, I was having no luck spotting Nessie from land. And I gave her every opportunity. I watched and I waited and I watched and I waited. And I got some very lovely, albeit boring, footage of me watching and waiting. But I decided that I needed to change things up a bit. If I was going to see Nessie, I was going to have to go to her. So I went in search of the spirit of Loch Ness. Because trying to see her by the shore hasn't been working, I decided we need to try and see her by boat. So I'm about to get on a boat to go and hunt her down. That makes it sound like I'm going equipped with harpoons. I'm not, don't worry. But what I am doing is I'm going to go on a boat, keep my eyes peeled and try and find her. I also want to make it known that I quite literally, genuinely tried to charter a helicopter to bring me out over Loch Ness. Because, you know, I don't do things by halves. It didn't happen, but next time it might. So let's get on this boat. So why did I go in search of the spirit of Loch Ness? Well, the spirit of Loch Ness is a pretty famous boat for Nessie hunters. Back in 2020, the spirit of Loch Ness picked up some pretty amazing sonar evidence that something big and alive lives in Loch Ness. Now, there's lots of theories about what this is. Is it a sturgeon? Is it a big old eel? But what you are about to see will answer that question for you. The following footage is 100% genuine. It is not doctored whatsoever. If you are watching this with small children, viewer discretion is advised. What you are about to see may cause you to question the very fabric of reality and science as we know it. There she is, in all her glory. And I know there's going to be people out there, naysayers, non-believers, who will think that I've somehow photoshopped this or faked this footage. But I can assure you, this footage is not doctored in any way, shape or form. It has now been established and irrefutably proven that there is something monstrous, big and long-necked living in Loch Ness. So at the beginning of all this, I thought the idea that little old me could solve a centuries-old mystery was just down to my overinflated ego. But it turns out it's true. I could solve the mystery, and I did. And while I had to put up with terrifying monks, a haunted monastery, and a lot of waiting around, I just knew in my heart and soul that Nessie and I were kindred spirits.